Hello and welcome back to another Old World Battle Report. Today we have something a bit different. It's a doubles battle. So each army's 1,000 points, and then there's two together, so 2,000 points. Um, Using a modified flank attack scenario. So one army is the center force, and then the other army all deploys on the flank. And that was hidden at the start. And then we revealed, and in this game, both flank forces ended up on the same flank. So it basically meant we played on 2/3 of the table. But I was running some dwarves, and then my ally was running wood elves, the wild hunt list. And we were facing off against two empire armies. So one a bit more of a gun line with one unit of White Wolf Knights, and then one more cavalry, big unit of White Wolf Knights, some demigryphs, Wizard Lord, and some archers. Yeah, so I had a king on shield bearers and a unit of longbeards with a. So this is a royal clans list. And then there's a um, runesmith, battle standard bearer with the 5 up side, master rune of Gungi, and two units of 5 iron drakes. So yeah, very small list. Initially, the thought was that this list was going to pair with this list, and the wizard on demonology was going to make these guys fly. That was going to be the fun trick there. But we switched up who was playing with who. And then wood elves have Orion, and then 3 units of wild riders. So yeah, fairly elite on our side. And then the empire list, there was, I believe, a Grand Master in this White Wolf unit, maybe just a Chapter Master, I think actually. Then a level 4 Wizard, 2 units of 10 archers, 2 Great Cannons, and an Engineer in the center force, and then I think Grandmaster on Demigryph in the unit of big unit of Knights of the White Wolf. Yeah, 3 Demigryphs, and then a level 4 Wizard Lord on switch that to battle magic, and 5 archers. So the flanking forces got to start 6 inches further forward, so they're both pressed up. So the wood elves and dwarves got turn 1, and what happened was the Wild Riders and Orion were able to charge the demigryphs. I don't know if they wiped them out, but if they didn't, they caught them, so they were gone. So the Wild Riders declared a charge on the archers, who failed their terror chest, had to run away, and then they failed to roll high enough to reach the wizard, so they just had a failed charge. The dwarves just drilled into marching column, marched forward through the wood elf wood. They had the rune of passage, so they weren't too concerned. Empire, turn 1. The knights in marching column using drilled. Swing around the side. I think the cannons went into the dwarves, killed a couple. So over here, the archers failed to rally and kept running. The big unit of white wolves charged into the wild riders and killed a bunch of them, and 2 fell back in good order through Orion. And what they did here was the Wizard Lord charged Orion in the flank, which meant that he got to, and then the White Wolves charged the Wild Riders, killed them, overran, and because this combat hadn't fought yet, this White Wolf unit got to fight again. But, and so Orion issued a challenge, and the Grand Master accepted. And I think it wasn't a ton of wounds. The Grand Master maybe took a wound or 2, and Orion took 1 or 2. But with the static combat res, the Empire won, and but Orion being unbreakable just gave ground a little bit. So the Empire players were debating this or trying to shoot a cannon through Orion, which would have had the potential to mess him up too. So I don't know. They wanted. He was hoping to get the double combat off, which is always a fun thing when it works. So that meant that in the dwarf and elf turn, the other unit of Wild Riders charged in to help out Orion. Orion killed the Grandmaster in the challenge, and the Wild Riders, I mean, fared okay against the White Wolves, but lost a few of their number. These other Wild Riders, I think maybe they charged the Wizard and killed it. Varan. One Wild Rider was left from, and I think maybe he took a stand and shoot. The Dwarves kept moving forward. Pillar of Fire was now killing off some of them. And missed turn. Maybe I did. Maybe this is the Empire turn where so this fight's ongoing. The Knights have marched up and formed back out. Oh, they charged that unit of Iron Drakes and killed them. And cannons and magic are continuing to pummel the Dwarves and take off some of the Wild Riders. So Orion and the Wild Riders finished off the White Wolf Knights. I think they forced them off the board. The Dwarves, what happened? Failed their charge. I think the archers that were here fled from the few Wild Riders that were charging. I think they maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe they just fled over here. And they must have fled off the board or been killed off. The Wild Rider made it into the Engineer. The Dwarves just sort of moved up. I guess, no, I think I fought the Archers, and then they fled off the board, and I didn't roll high enough to contact the Engineer. And the White Wolves have marching column back around to try and start threatening the Dwarves. The Wild Rider must have charged the cannon, killed it, and then overran into the Engineer. I don't know if that did anything change there. No, just duplicate pictures. The Wizard's still here. The Pillar of Fire still moving around through the units. The Hounds are T4, which actually I think saved them a few times this game from fireballs and pillars of fire. They're not quite as weak to magic as you might think. The Knights moved up. The Dwarves charged the cannon. I think the Engineer killed the Wild Rider, maybe? Or he got magicked off. The Dwarves killed off the cannon. Couldn't reach the Wizard with their stumpy legs, but their other things, he's getting blocked up from charging his Knights in. So the Wizard fled from the Dwarves once they got to charge. Orion's trying to catch up. The Knights of the White Wolf then charge into the Dwarves, and I think there was maybe, does it look like one Iron Breaker left? But the King fought a challenge. He had the Master Rune of Smiting, so kills off the Chapter Master. Not many Dwarves left, though. Not a lot of Wood Elves left either. But they managed to defeat the White Wolves and overrun into the Wizard, which was the end. So a small victory to the Dwarves, but there was Dwarves and Elves. But yeah, not a lot left. It was actually proved to be a very close game. Yeah, and it was, doubles was fun. There was these armies were just sort of thrown together, and I think that there's some fun opportunities to get some interesting combinations going between different factions. So This was in preparation for potentially running a doubles tournament, sort of a beginner's doubles tournament in a month or two. So yeah, we thought it went well. It was pretty fun. I'd encourage people to give doubles a try if they're trying to get a new player into the game. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.